sculpted, in terms of that kind of stuff. Juvacia says, is there a specific time of day? There's not. C. Ferris says, can feedback be posted anonymously? Yeah, so keep in mind, we only ask you guys for one testimony. So the reviews are the most common ones that people do. They're simple, they're easy. You can post like with your initials as well too. Pamela says, can we do both weights and body fats? Pamela, how much do you weigh? So I guess the easiest way to explain this is if you're over 200 pounds, you're going to lose 20 pounds before you would lose 5% body fat. And if you're less than 200 pounds, you're going to lose 5% body fat before you would lose 20 pounds. So it really just depends on where you're at. Now, the third and final goal that we set is if you actually have no body fat to lose at all, and instead you want to gain weight. If you're looking to gain weight, then we would set a goal to increase how much muscle you have as well. Now, the challengers typically crush these goals. We've been doing this now for a long time. We started this as an in-person program in our 3 gyms in New Jersey from 2016 up until March of 2020. And over that time period, we worked with about 4,000 different people of all different shapes and sizes, men, women, older, younger, all different scenarios. Mary Jane, you asked a good question. What if I'm wanting to do body recomp, lose weight, and gain muscle? That would be the 5% body fat loss goal. So you're doing a body recomp is you reducing your body fat percentage. So for example, Mary Jane, if you're currently 25% body fat, your goal would be to decrease that down to 20% from losing any fat and gaining any muscle. So both of those things work together. Now, if you happen to be in a position where you have more fat to lose, then body fat loss happens a lot faster than muscle gain. So just for transparency purposes, guys, you can lose about 10 times as much fat as it takes to gain muscle. So you're going to slowly gain muscle and you're going to lose fat like nothing. So losing fat is a lot faster. It's a lot easier, takes less time. So a little bit different there. So a recomp is something that happens over time. But in a 6-week period, you're going to see your body fat tend to drop down more than muscle gain, just for clarification there. Now, you guys are asking about workouts and meal plans. We'll go over that in a few minutes. Give me about 5 minutes and I'll answer all your questions. Otherwise, this meeting will last about 45 minutes and I don't want it to. Now, over 41,000 people have been through the program since we have a 93% success rate, meaning 93% of people that do the program reach one of the 3 goals we just spoke about. So that slide I said is the most important slide in the entire presentation. That is what this entire program is about, meeting your goal. 93% of people meet whichever goal is appropriate for them. Like I mentioned before, that's how we measure the success of the program. We got some nice examples here of before and after photos. Jason, Denise, Ben, Wendy, Michi, and Sophia. And then we got a few more nice examples here too. Now this is Trent. He was a 52-year-old male. He was dealing with stubborn fat, which is basically belly fat that doesn't seem to go away. Now, he did have a lot of experience working out. He had 20 years of experience living a healthy lifestyle. He was exercising. He was active. His diet was pretty good. He was doing a lot of good things that people tend to talk about, but his body really wasn't making changes. So we set a goal for him to get down 5% body fat, and he was able to lose over 8% body fat for 2 main reasons. Number 1, he lost fat and he gained muscle. And number 2, he was really able to see a large improvement in his progress because he had a real plan. And this might resonate with some of you. This is a common message we get. And I can almost guarantee you've heard this phrase before. Somebody said this earlier today. They said, I eat healthy and I work out, but my body's not changing. And so I asked a simple question. What does eating healthy look like? What does working out look like? Because saying that doesn't mean one thing specifically, right? It's kind of broad. When you say you eat healthy, that can mean a lot of things. When you say you're working out, that can mean a lot of things. Sometimes you are trying, but you're not doing what is necessary to make your body change. And so it's not about trying harder. It's not about you're doing something wrong, but you just need a better focused plan. So that's what we did with Trent. We gave him a real plan That kind of took all the guesswork out of it for him. It just made it a lot easier for him to be successful, and he was able to execute it. We have Martha here, 65-year-old female. She lost 9% body fat. Now, she was able to lose fat mostly through nutrition, and she was able to gain muscle from working out. And you can see the changes that she was able to make here. And then we got Rhonda and Sunny here, two more nice examples. They both had a goal of getting down 5% body fat. So keep in mind, they started the program below 200 pounds. And because they were below 200 pounds with fat to lose, their goal was to lose 5% body fat. They both met their goal. They got down 5.1%, and Sunny got down 7.9%. And the last thing here, guys, this is not a magical plan, meaning there are no body wraps, waist trainers, fat burners, detoxes, cleanses, things like that we won't be doing here. So there are three pieces that make our plan work. The first part will be fitness. Now we're going to focus on resistance training. I think, was it C. Ferris says, what kind of workouts does your program recommend? So we don't just recommend a thing. We don't just recommend guidelines and then hope it's going to work. We give you a real plan for you. So we're going to set you up with a resistance training based program. We ask you to work out 3 times a week for roughly 40 minutes. Now, if you want to work out more than that, you can. So if somebody wants to work out 5 days a week, of course you can. We'll set you up with a plan to do 5 days a week, but we only ask you to work out 3 times per week. Now we're going to provide you with your own training plan that's on your membership website. So when you go to work out, you're going to log into your membership website with your own username and password. Once you're logged in, you're going to have your workout plan, your meal plan, your resources to use. When you go to exercise, you just tap the exercise. It's going to pull up a little video clip for you, and it's going to be your coach demonstrating how to perform each exercise from multiple angles. So for example, let's just say, for example, the exercise is a push-up. Your coach would demonstrate how to perform a push-up, what angle of your elbows should be at, where to place your hands, whether you're on your knees or not, other alternatives, things like that as well. Now, again, just to clarify, guys, the entire program is fully on demand. So there's no schedule, there's no days and times that you have to adhere to. John can work out when he wants to. Tracy can work out when she wants to. Everybody has their own schedule, their own plan for them. Now, your workouts are designed to help you reduce any unwanted body fat as we maintain and potentially build more muscle. Now, your plan, as I mentioned before, can be done from home or from a gym. So we base your program on where you want to do this from, and then whatever equipment you currently have. So if you happen to have nothing available, you just have your body weight, we will give you a body weight based plan. So we'll teach you how to get in shape using your body weight. Now we can modify any exercise that we need to for your needs. So if you have some knee issues, some lower back pain, any injury concerns, communicate with us and we can help you there. Rakesh says, how many workouts are optimal to see maximum results? The best workouts or the best exercise is the exercise of self-discipline, Rakesh. Based on what you told me, that your diet is not great and you stress eat, before we worried about workouts and optimal results for maximum results and whatnot, let's make sure your nutrition is where it needs to be. So I mean this in authentic, in all, reality. The truth is, working out 3 times a week with a plan is more effective than working out 6 days a week without a plan. There are people right now that have worked out every day for the last 50 days, 50 days straight of working out, and they're doing aimless exercises. They're kind of just everywhere. You're just going to be super inefficient that way. So I would recommend, Rakesh, work out 3 times a week with a purpose and a plan, get in and get out, and then focus on nutrition for fat loss, and you're going to be very successful. Now, if somebody wants to, again, work out more than that, you can. Mary Jane says, can it be hybrid gym and home? Absolutely. Sure. Now, some examples of exercises you might see: squats, overhead presses, bicep curls, push-ups, hip bridges. So again, more so resistance training, stimulating your muscle rather than like cardio, HIIT style, intense, I guess high impact exercise is what a lot of people like to call it. We don't do that here. So more like low impact, low intensity. We'll give you the sets to do, the reps to do, the appropriate weights to use as well too. Pamela says, I worry about no appetite. Okay. How long have you had no appetite for? Now, I will also say improving how much you move and exercising, you tend to increase your appetite as well too. So that might happen too. Now, your nutrition plan is going to be most of your success. Your plan is based on your schedule, your food preferences, how much you weigh, and what your goals are. There are going to be hundreds of food options available for each person. What we do is give you the portion sizes of the food you prefer to have. Now, if you have no appetite, that hypothetically means that we should be losing weight. So those of you guys that mentioned that you don't have an appetite, have you been losing weight? Because having no appetite means you're not really consuming a lot of calories, or hypothetically, you shouldn't be, which means you should be losing weight. So if that is the case, weight loss should be occurring if your appetite is very minimal, which is why a GLP-1 medication works. Anybody ever hear of semaglutide, Ozempic, any of those medications? That's what they do. That medication makes your brain less hungry, sends a signal to your brain to suppress your appetite so you don't want to eat throughout the day. So what happens is you don't eat throughout the day, so you lose weight. That's how appetite suppression happens. Now, most of these foods are what we call single ingredient whole foods. By the way, we have vegetarian options, vegan options, plant-based options. If you wanted to do intermittent fasting, keto, things like that are also available too. Now, apples, eggs, chicken, rice, asparagus, and tomatoes are a few nice examples here just to give you guys some ideas. You're going to get a grocery list. It will tell you what to go shopping for. You're also going to get a meal prepping guide as well, so you can be better prepared if you want to. Let's see, C. Ferris says, I see a nutritionist, dietitian already. Do I need to participate in the meal plan? C. Ferris, as long as you're meeting your goal at the end of the program that shows your results, that's all we care about. Now, Tangeli said I'm on a GLP-1, but want off. I'm losing muscle. That is unfortunate, but that's very true. Losing muscle is a very reality. Anytime you lose weight, you lose muscle. And when you lose weight fast, you lose muscle fast, unfortunately. You're going to get your own eating out guide and a 40 recipe cookbook as well, too. So a lot of different resources that can make it easier for you. Third part to the program, accountability. If we don't get you to follow the plan, it could be the best plan in the world, but you're not going to see results. So what would you have to do? Well, every single week, we're going to ask you to submit a photo of your groceries. And these are some nice examples here showing you guys what it looks like. Now, the second step to accountability is a weekly weigh-in. Your official weigh-ins will be when you start the program and when you finish it. Now, the other weeks, you're going to post in the group for us. We check your weight weekly. We want to make sure that each person's making some progress. Now, if you're not making any progress, then we would ask you to post your meals to us. So your nutrition plans, they are based upon being in a calorie deficit or surplus. Caloric deficit means you want to lose body fat. If your goal is fat loss, you must be in a caloric deficit. If your goal is to gain weight, you must be in a caloric surplus. Now, every human gains or loses weight based on total energy, meaning our energy consumption through our diet and our energy expenditure as a human. So we consume and we burn energy. That's what we call our energy balance. Now, the laws of thermodynamics apply to every single person, meaning there is no such thing as being in a calorie deficit and not losing any body fat. That's not possible. So if you're not making any progress, we have you send us your meals. We can check portion sizes. We can make adjustments, of course, if we need to. Either we see the problem and then we can correct it, or what happens is the client would follow the plan better because they know we're checking their meals too. So these are some good examples here too as well. Now, we made a lot of changes since we started the program. So the first time that we did this, we had 100 people that were super motivated to get started. So we brought them in to do the free challenge. The challenge started, and on the first day of the program, which is the weigh-in day, 50 people out of 100 that were supposed to be there did not make it to the first day. This is a true story. This happened the very first time we ever did this in our first gym back in 2016. Now, some participants that made it to the first day, they never made it to the second week of the program. And since we can only handle about 100 challengers, there were less serious people who were taking spots to do the program than weren't doing it, and we're keeping it away from other people who were more serious about doing the program. So by the end of the challenge, we had less than 30% of people finishing the program, meaning about 70% of people didn't make it to the end. And so we knew that we needed to make a change. The reason 93% of people now hit their goal, we essentially have you place a bet that you will hit your goal in the next 6 weeks. People in the beginning do put some money down, but it's still a free challenge because when you hit your goal, you get your deposit back. For New Jersey members that work with us in our gyms in person, it's a $700 deposit. You guys are virtual. Instead, you're going to get your own virtual coach, your own remote program, and it's a $200 deposit. Now, the reason for this deposit is because when we did this without one, we had 100 people sign up for the program, but then we had about 50 people make it to the first day. We had about 30 people make it to the end, and most of them didn't really take the program seriously, which means it didn't work, which means there was no reason for us to do it that way anymore because it wasn't going to work. So we went back to the drawing board to figure out how we can make it more effective, driving clients to follow through and get results, and still offer it to everybody for free. Now, the success rate is through the roof, and each person gets a program for free too. Now, as a business, this works for us as well. When people follow their plan, they get incredible results. And the more that somebody gets results, the more they might want to continue with us. I would say about 75% of people that do our program choose to continue working with us when it's over, which that is how we make money as a business. You're not obligated to, that's your choice. Our hope is that you like it and you continue, but if you want to take your deposit and go, that's totally fine too. Still benefits us as the business because again, your testimony can always help us out as well too. So like I said, we do take on 100 people every time we do the 6-week shred program. Now I'm going to post a link into the chat for you guys to get registered. So those of you that are looking to take part in the 6-week shred, you can use that link that's in the chat and fill out that form to get yourself registered. As I mentioned, we do take on 100 people every time we do this. We currently have 17 spots remaining as of right now. So the first step is to register. And then once you are registered, you can choose your own starting date. Rakesh says, what if you don't use social media? Okay, so we do ask if you want to join a private Facebook group. It is your choice. If you don't want to join it, you don't have to. You can post your photos and whatnot to your coach as well. So there's no need to join Facebook if you don't want to. Now, just so you guys know, I should be getting a confirmation text when you register. So I'll be confirming with you guys as they do come in. See, Rakesh, I have you registered. Now, it looks like Alexis, you're working on it too as well. Looks like we've got Alexis Smith. I see you're trying to register too. So like I said, I should be getting a confirmation text when you register, but if you do want to confirm with me as well, you can. The first step is to register with the link that's in the chat. And then after you're registered, you're going to receive an email from us pretty soon that will tell you what to do from here to get started. Looks like Melody. I see you're trying to register. We got Carol, Tangelia, Juvacia, and Alexis registered. Peggy, so that you registered as well too. Yeah, if you do want to confirm with me, guys, it's always a good idea. Sometimes there can be some delays and whatnot, so I should see your name popping up pretty soon. I got, is it Glynis? Glynis. And Melody, I see you guys are trying to register. So keep in mind, guys, since we are a US-based program, sometimes your payment method might decline for like security purposes. That does happen sometimes. Carol said, how long before I get the email? Typically, it takes about 5 minutes. So should be popping up pretty soon. Pat Miller, I see you're registered as well.